Hey you guys, I am actually recording today because I'm having a DSL issue at the building. So we were getting really pixelated, not clear video during my live. So what I wanted to show you today is how to make an IOD mold using the IOD silicone molds, and I'm going to be using the seashells, which I just love. It's brand new, haven't used it yet. Some of the air dry clay, you can see I've been using my package. And when you do start using this, make sure you really, if you have some leftover, wrap it up well. I wrap this up, put a couple of really good elastic bands on it, and then I put it into a Ziploc bag because if it starts to dry out, you can't use it. I've tried wetting it and it doesn't work. So that's what we're gonna be using for our mold. And you'll see me use, this is Aleene's tacky glue, which I love. I also use wood glue. We're gonna be gluing our molds onto a paper gift. It's a papier-mâché gift box. And I'll tell you how I started that. But this glue is fantastic and it's nice and thick, so it's not gonna run all over your project. And I put that in my favorite yogurt cup. You're gonna need a couple of brushes. I use a brush, just a kind of a, not a really good brush, to put my glue onto the back of the mold. So you could use your fingers too, it gets a little messy. And then I have just this little brush here because I'm gonna be using, I normally use cornstarch inside of the mold so the clay doesn't stick, but I left my cornstarch at home. So I'm using Amy Howard at home, her milk paint. And I've done that in a pinch and it works. I used actually Miss Mustard Seeds milk paint because I didn't want to drive all the way home and get my cornstarch, but the best is to use cornstarch. All right, so the project is, I love reusing gift boxes, and this is a papier-mâché box set that I got at like, I don't know, Joann or Michael's, and I painted it in Autentico Vintage chalk paint in mint. It's really pale, pretty green color, a very cool green. And I'm gonna glue on all these different seashell shapes. Say that 3 times fast. Make sure, now, you know, the lid comes off, obviously. You've got your inside, and here's the lid. When you go to start gluing on your molds, put your lid on because you don't wanna glue far up and then not be able to put the top on. All right, so let's begin. So make believe my milk paint is cornstarch. And we'll start with this beautiful seashell. And I just dust. We've got a sand dollar. And this is an important step. There's nothing more frustrating than getting everything ready and you have a mold or the clay that just sticks. And you can pull it out, reuse the clay, but this definitely makes it a lot less frustrating. We'll do another, like a large seashell. Starfish. Okay. All right. And maybe a smaller one because this is pretty small. These box sets come, I think there's like 6 of them, from really small to quite large. All right. Now we take, to open this up. Oh, I even taped this, oh my God. All right, take some of our clay, and I kind of roll it in a ball, and you have to guesstimate like how much clay you're gonna need. Get rid of any excess cornstarch and just press in. Oh, and you know what I forgot? Hang on 1 second. You need like a straight edge. Wow, I nailed the amount of paper clay for that. But I wanted to show you, be right back. Now, normally I use a putty knife, but you could use a credit card. You need a straight edge to kind of push out any excess clay, because you want this to be pretty flat, the back of your mold, so that gluing it'll sit on what you're trying to glue it to. So I just roll that way, there we go. Roll the mold, and there is, here we go, the little sand dollar. I'll do a couple more and then I'll show you how I glue. I cannot remember what that shell is, but I just love it. All right, and I press it out, filling that form. And if you need a little more, you just go in, break off some clay, take your straight edge, and it's tempting to kind of start at one corner and go all the way down, and this tends to pull the mold away from the edge, so it kind of distorts it. So I start like in the middle and pull away like this. And this clay is beautiful. It's really easy to work with. And you know, you can use these molds for baking, pie making, sugar work. You'd have a separate set for your food and another one for crafting, but it makes beautiful, beautiful cookies and stuff. All right, so we just turn this out. Oh, and you're gonna see what happens when it sticks. And then right, you saw that little corner, and I'm just gonna move that over. Let's see, there we go, like that, and press it in. Now, if you're really working on something important, you could just roll this back up and go in there again. But there's that shell. And let's do the little starfish. And this clay goes a really long way. I've actually worked out 3 pretty good sized projects with this one block of clay. And just patiently push that in. You really want to fill out the whole shape of the mold. Save all that clay. Okay, looks good. It wants to go that way. And how cute is that? Oh, if I could only learn my directions with this. So there's our little starfish, and it's really, really sweet. Okay, now for gluing. So for my plan for these gift boxes is to have the top decorated and then probably 2 of the sides, and you know, put tissue in and the gift, and then just a big beautiful satin ribbon. But for the front here, and these can be, if you like, you can layer these on top of each other like so. Over, Jane. But isn't that beautiful? And we glue them on while they're still wet. And the reason we do that, the reason I do it, is that once, like I let these, this one dry. And even if you dry it on a piece of glass, so it's absolutely flat, the surface you're putting it on might not be absolutely flat. And the mold will then, you can see, there we go. See how there's space there? Nothing, this is not flexible. There's no way I can make this conform to the shape of this top because it's rock hard. Oops, I just cracked it. And by the way, if you do that, you can just glue that right back up. This clay is very forgiving. So that's why I glue them on wet. Take your brush, think about, you know, what your design is. Sometimes if it's really intricate or I'm doing a piece of furniture, I'll actually mark out the design with chalk. I get a piece of chalk so that way I could just wipe it off. If you use a pencil, and I've done that, there's no getting it off, even with you're erasing it, and it just won't. Okay, so I just brush on the Aleene's tacky glue, and I get every part of the mold. And if you feel like this is too thick for you, you can use Elmer's wood glue, which I love. You can use regular old Elmer's glue. Any of those are fine. You just want to get every part of the mold, especially the edges, because we want to glue those down. All right, there's my little section that ripped a blob on there. Okay. Make sure you have paper towel, because you will get a little bit sticky. All right, I go around and I just check the edges of the mold to make sure it's all pressed down. Now, as I said, I did use Autentico Vintage, which is chalk paint. I did not finish it yet. You don't want to wax or anything till you're absolutely done with your project. All right, it's a scallop shell, that's what it is. Okay, so there's our scallop. Let's do our sand dollar really fast. And we are going to wax this box. So this will be able to be used, this gift box, over and over again. Okay. And just press down around the edge. All right, and then one more. Oh my goodness, I'm getting covered with glue. Our little starfish. Now you can use these molds all by themselves as ornaments. Let me get that piece of hair out of here. You could do like 2 of these starfish and glue them together, which is really sweet. Paint them with metallic paint. And when you glue them together, you just put in a little ribbon and they just make the most adorable little ornaments. All right. There's our little starfish. Now imagine making a pie crust with this. If you guys go online, go onto Facebook, and there's the Iron Orchid, I think it's the Iron Orchid Creative Tribe, and there are people making pie crust, cookies, chocolates. It's beautiful. So there's our little design for the lid. You can go crazy. I have some pearls, some freshwater pearls. I could throw a few in there, but you do the top. I'm gonna do the top, and then I'm gonna do the front and the back of the box. And I will do another live when it comes, when I get that done and I begin to paint, because I'm gonna paint these in a different, it's all gonna be very pastel-y, but I'm gonna paint them in a different color than the mint. Thanks for watching, you guys. Any questions at all, just put them in the comments. And remember, I'm Jane from, I have to remember to tell you who I am, from Surface Anthology. And you can go and see what workshops I have up now. Just go to make.surfaceanthology.com. All right, we'll see you guys later with the next part of this project.